did make sure we made the last topic fun, and I made it fun because I'm so fucking pissed off that I couldn't go to this thing right here. So Art Basel was this week. It looked like a banger time. A bunch of things happened this time, it seemed like. First of all, NFTs, were not part of Art Basel before. Art Basel was way before this whole, NFT revolution here. Slowly, they becoming more and more accepted. They seem like they were even more accepted this year. This is the first year that ordinals came out. They didn't exist last year, and they went pretty hard as well. We were seeing a bunch of like VR, AR stuff as well. It seemed like it was a step forward for Art Basel in terms of accepting new people, but I didn't go. I just sat on the internet and read all the little reviews and was pissed off. So, Futoshi, you were there?
I was there. Oh my god, dude. Art Basel was a fucking movie. It was great. So all the ordinal events were slapping. I am going to show ordinals again.
He's only been Art Basel once, but all the ordinal events were the best. Okay?
Exactly. No, the Rug Radio Mansion, that also hit. Also, shout out to my boy Buckets, the OD Labs party. I literally went to this first time being 21 in Miami. It was slit. Yeah. But I went to a nightclub for John Summers. It was straight ass. I couldn't even dance on the night. I got pushed by the bouncer, bro. I was like, I paid $150. I can't even dance. But Buckets got me $50 for the OD Labs party. Banger DJs, and it was like super fun. So he redeemed the night. And yeah, we had the first Ordinals conference in Miami. That was like the second Ordinals focused event. That one was really interesting. It's also interesting to see at other events how many people are actually interested in Ordinals. So me, Big God in the back. Troy did not show, but me and Big God did. We were doing our rounds. But yeah, Miami all around was super fun. And just like the energy. Like that's how I know it was a bull market. Crypto degens having fun again in Miami.
What's up? Real quick.
I want to be young again.
Do you guys not see?
Can I have your blood?
Do you not see the juxtaposition, okay? We've got a fresh 21-year-old. When I was 21, I was not going to Art Basel.
No,
I'll tell you what, okay?
No.
I was going to the fucking bungalow or some shit, right? So that's wild. And I love that he's just like, we're out there, we're pushing ordinals, we're shit, we're doing it. And then Patrick's like, the frat parties were a problem. We need to slow down on that. So there is this weird. There's a mixing of two cultures, right? Art Basel, that's a Switzerland thing, right?
There's no mixing of cultures. That's the thing. They're just at the same in the same place at the same time. Like the Art Basel people did not engage with NFT people. 100%. Like they're completely separate. Events are separate. There's no crossover. The NFT people, they tried to have fun parties. But like
hey, they were fun.
They hijacked
the ones I went to.
One.
I didn't see you at the ones I went to be fair.
I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised.
Patrick just said the NFT MFers don't mix with the fine art. MFers are like, I didn't see you at my parties. He's like, yes.
Go to the flyer. Okay, I mixed around because thankfully this space and IRL spaces have created me getting into weird-ass parties that I should not be allowed to go to. But if you go to the IRL Alpha account on the flyer, I posted some videos. Patrick, I went to an event. They talked about you. No, they didn't. But it was an event that I feel like you would have hated, but also you probably would have accidentally been at. They were pouring gack on this woman's head, and she was in this slime time. She was in an outfit. This was not an NFT party.
Did you paint that?
No. I wish I did. This was not an NFT
Is it
party.
AI?
So, okay, that was House of Sex. House of Sex was fire. He was doing a live event, and he was painting on different women, but they had music going with DJs and stuff. This was actually one of the coolest things that I felt they did for NFT events. Because it was more look at everyone. We're having a good time.
It says a lot, right? It says a lot right there.
This video is not selling to Patrick. We need a better video.
What's wrong with you people?
I mean,
why are you at Basel?
It's called House of Sex.
I feel like everyone who went to Basel would be better off going to Florida on spring break.
Honestly, what is this?
Honestly, why are you going to Basel during this? All of your events are not about art. All of the artists were basically wallpaper.
So,
there was no good shows.
The food at this event was
Why
fire.
are you at an art show?
The food at this event was fire. I'll just say that. Okay. Open bar. It was,
Okay, thank you. Open bar. Yeah, it's like you give open bar to a bunch of degenerates and it's the best party ever. Come on.
Art can be different.
The 20-year-olds love it. But I mean, seriously,
You out here thinking that art's only one type of thing. It's it could be different things. They just showed you a performance. That's type of art,
Hold on, so,
performance
okay.
art.
They said that was the best thing of the week.
Wait. So Patrick's sophisticated. Okay,
Best thing
we're
of the week.
DJs. I'm looking for the open bars and the free food.
I'm just not going to get sucked in by the Cool Cat scammer hosting people at his mansion, right? I feel like if you wanted to summarize NFTs in a nutshell, it is that.
Okay, D God's event was lit.
Ow,
Everything
that
was
hurt
fire.
me. That was so deep.
Okay, so real quick, here's the thing. Okay, so Patrick, okay, I want to be sophisticated. I don't want to take shoeies anymore. I can't. Dude, I'm terrible in the basketball tournament. I need to change to the art crowd. Okay, so how the fuck do I switch over? How do I get to the other parties? I'm an NFT MFer, right? Like, I hang out with art blocks guys.
There were
Who did you hang out with, Patrick?
There were smaller art events that were really good.
Okay.
You know, all the NFT Now stuff was terrible. The Rug Radio House, obviously the Cool Cat scammer, right? I just but that's for like the NFT like PFP crowd. That wasn't for the art crowd. I know it was during Art Basel, but again, like it really should have been Florida Spring Break. Like, and it is what it is. Like but there are smaller events that are more art focused that did a better job. But you want to see art get pushed forward in a way where we have acceptance. Right? The fact that we have a lot of people being loud next to the art people does not imply that we've connected with the art people. You know, and that was kind of the case with Basel. Like, no one from there wants to go to these parties and go buy our art, right? And our art isn't there for anyone to buy at the parties, right? The art is like, cool, hey, you're an artist in the show. Bring some friends so we have people who attend, and we'll put your art on a shitty screen on a wall that no one will see with no context. And that is your NFT art show.
Yeah, but that's the regular art show, except it's not digital.
NFT Now, Rug Radio, like all these things, like just really did badly for the artists. I mean, like Trippy Labs, right? 250 artists, and they're rotating on screen. So like once every 10 minutes, it would show the artist. I mean, this is not how you do an art show at Art Basel. And if you're wondering, hey, why aren't these people coming over and like looking at digital art? It's because we're not creating an environment that is enticing them to come over and look at digital art. And I know we're like, yeah, it's fun, blah, blah, blah. People laugh about it, but this is not the culture or the events or the scenarios that do anything to expand us beyond ourselves. And this is the stuff that just collapses on the middle. So yeah, people had fun, but ultimately I think it's a net negative for the space. And
Art Basel's a net negative for the space.
Just get the quotes down. Rug Radio, NFT Now, and those events with the open bar we have. Yeah, no, that stuff is net negative for the space. So.
I don't think those events are made to expand the space. I think they're meant to literally support those communities that have been working hard all year, and that's their celebratory. Everyone's dumping their tax money during Basel before the next kind of run. So I think you're correct on how those parties are going and how they're not expanding, but I don't think that's necessarily those two people's like purpose. And like even NFT Now, they rebranded to Now Media, because they're trying to eliminate these stigmas that makes it hard for us to expand. So I think, you just have to look at the purpose behind like certain events.
Real fast, because
sorry.
Don't apologize.
So I do agree, however, but I slightly disagree. So I was at Art Basel last year, and for example, I went to the Doodles event, right? It was a really good example where very family friendly, people had an opportunity, whether you were a holder or not, to really get immersed in what Doodles was all about. Regardless of your opinion, it was a lot of fun because you saw people pass by, they saw the colors, they had an opportunity to engage with the community and say, oh, what was this? Oh, how much does this cost? Oh, $50. You're in Miami, everything's hella expensive, right? Let's pay $50 to then learn about what Doodles is, to then get immersed in what the ecosystem is. So although I do agree, for me, in my opinion, I didn't go to Art Basel because, and this isn't to explain my story, but because it was like, I didn't really want to just party club and kind of do the same thing, right? I appreciate what everyone's doing. However, my concept and a lot of people's shift in mindset is like, how are we going to truly involve this concept of mass onboarding, right? These conversations aren't really expanding past the mansions, past the influencers on the timeline. We're really just involving and seeing the same 10 people posting, augmented reality. That's great, but it's only being discussed around the same circles right now. No one else is making it easily digestible for the general public to say, okay, this is actually really cool, but how can we understand this in layman's terms so that we can get involved in something like Art Basel? You can just walk across, Wynwood and just get involved in some of these smaller art galleries and really start to engage in conversation. Carry something like a business card that might sound so basic, but in to engage in those types of conversations, it's what's going to move us forward.
I think the problem is that the NFT companies, and I own some, of course. I have a fucking project. But the thing is that they're club oriented and they're sharing the same collective like assets and the vibes and what they've amalgamated between each other and stuff like that. So like when you're going to Art Basel to appreciate the art, I can buy something and walk away. Sure, I'm with friends, which is like a club, but I'm not tied through a collective asset that holds us together and that we have to vibe with certain colors and stuff like that. So they're very different.
They're a club asset because like what she was saying is that it's also a celebratory moment, right?
No, for sure. And I agree with that. I think it's like holiday break and go to as many as you want if you've worked hard and celebrate and party your ass off and do pink cocaine. But I think it's different.
He will not stop talking about it. I think he might be addicted.
Yeah, and for all the art at Basel, right? For all the NFT art, right? Did anyone buy a booth at Scope or Untitled or Basel proper? No, they're putting their stuff up in hotel lobbies and trying to have art shows. Like,
why do you?
It's just like there's such a fundamental misunderstanding of what is appropriate for art and what's not, and what's actually get people to look at art. And putting a bunch of art up in a hotel lobby is not it.
Patrick, it's because not everyone.
What is appropriate?
Sorry.
Ziana.
Sorry, because not everybody's in the space for art. Let's just be honest. Like people really are in it for
the culture,
money, the culture, for growth, for jobs. I mean, I'm just being honest with you, right? I really do love the art, but not everybody's in this space to collect art.
No,
that's why whenever
everyone's in it, it's like the PFP degenerates.
No. I completely.
The artists were just used for wallpaper. And they were not treated well at Basel, and we were trying to like push digital art forward. No one pushed digital art forward at Basel, other than a handful of smaller events.
It's because it's more as seen as a celebratory moment, not as a moment to like push forward artists. Am I saying that's right? No, but the concept behind it is true.
I'm starting a campaign for Florida Spring Break for
also
next year.
The complexity of like if you're not a big NFT project, then Art Basel is not going to look at you. But if you're a big project, you're not really trying to expand the space. The smaller projects are, the more artsy projects are, someone like the Ordinal projects are, but that's not interesting to like names unless you're like a Deadfellas, a Doodles, all these top tiers. Like that's who Basel and people like that are trying to partner with. They're like, what's your traction for us to accept digital art? So it kind of has that complexity of like, we're trusting the big teams and the big media projects and stuff to move the space, but that's not their agenda. The smaller projects are.
Also, hi, just a quick thing. Solana did actually have a thing at Basel main stage. There were about like 8 different artists that were sort of brought on and were at the main event, so.
Yeah, but multiple people were talking about how Solana actually, like it says right here, hot take, best display of digital art in the past week here. Obviously, I put up Tez poll before. People were shitting on Tez for doing a pretty bad job of displaying their art, even though the memes that came from it might have been the best art of the entire Art Basel, in my opinion. Here, but yeah, Solana did get a pretty good shout out here.
Yeah, that's better. See, that's a much better way of doing it.
Yeah,
but that was Griffin, by the way.
Oh, nice. There are a couple problems here, okay? Because right now, Art Basel was not a fucking thing for random 21-year-olds. Butoshi, I'm sorry.
I had fun.
Unless you were a fucking killer, amazing artist from a crazy gallery, they're taking into what we weren't supposed to go there and throw cool cats and doodles events. They didn't want that, right? We forced that on Art Basel, and now there's multiple facets of Art Basel. They're accepting both sides of it, and how do they work together? And I think there's something good where you go to Art Basel, I'm there to party, I'm going to go to a Doodles party, and a D-Gods party, to this party, and I'm like, holy fuck, you guys ever heard of this really cool artist named Damien Hirst? It's like, cool, great, cool. You're diving into that world. I don't think it's bringing people the other way, though. Right? No one who's going there to buy $1 million paintings is going to say like, yeah, dude, the Doodles party really turned me on. I think I'm going to buy, no offense, right? But it is good for the younger crew to start saying, whoa, there's rich people over here in Miami selling and making art and doing cool stuff and installations. Could I get there? Maybe. I like that.
All right. So I kind of want to tie in the last topic to this topic. So you guys were talking about how like ApeCoin isn't really decentralized, right? So I think my numbers might kind of be wrong, but I think about 313 wallets are responsible for 45% of the volume of NFTs in the last 90 days. And that's not decentralized. That's not celebrating art. So the reason why I got into NFTs and what made them exciting for me was so that artists could have a new avenue of income. And it seems like none of that's really happening. The only people that are making money are the super wealthy, which is what's happening in the regular world. All right, none of that's different. And I mean, so where I wanted to talk to you about specifically, Patrick, was do you feel like getting involved in this scene has actually given you a platform to expand and earn more money through your art? And do you feel like we're still doing that as a community? Are we really celebrating artists and making it easier for artists to earn income? Or are we just recreating the same type of economy that already existed?
That's my fear. We have a lot of potential. We have a lot of opportunity in space, right? And we've seen artists from around the world and, marginalized communities and places that would never be able to make a living in the traditional art world, come to this space and be able to make money and a living with digital art. Like, we've democratized access to art in a very interesting and material way. Does that mean that it's going to continue? No, I think there's a decent risk this space collapses. 7 dudes who sold art on blockchain, right? Ultimately just kind of pointless in art history. On the other side, I feel like if we embrace kind of the potential of this space and make better choices and do things differently, I think we can embrace just the power of democratizing access to art and be able to, offer a career, or at least a significant boost to your living to thousands of artists around the world. So I think the potential's there, but I don't think people appreciate that. I don't think people are really appreciating the potential and the opportunity that we have right now. And I think a lot of it's just wasted on stupid things. And there's not an infinite amount of time. Like, we have a short amount of time to get this right. What we do get right will be inherited by thousands of artists after us, so it matters. But are people talking about the right things? No. Are people? Yeah. So I just think that culturally we have to do a lot to fix it. But I do think the potential's there. But I think that it's becoming increasingly more difficult to reach with each passing day.
I just feel like, and I love you. You're incredibly intelligent and talented.
That's the best thing to say before you shit on somebody.
No. But I feel like we always hear you talk about, and I appreciate this, about like how the traditional art scene and community is totally fucked up and broken, right? And you want nothing a part of it. And so I think it's hard to sit up here and then also hear the opinion like, well, why are we not in freeze? Why, like, asking also at the same time asking for the validation, like that feels a little bit I don't know, like there's like some friction in between that. Like, it feels like you want validation from that, but I like your other point, which is like, fuck those people. And if the culture around this art is people renting houses and like jumping in pools, then fucking so be it. Like, at least it's not the other broken thing. I
agree with you. No, fuck those people.
Yeah,
right?
fuck those people.
I think that, but I do think there's a number of people that are in the traditional art world that would be interested in digital art, where they'd be more exposed to it, where they understand the artist, where they understand kind of crypto and the ethos and what we're all doing here. So do I want to replicate the traditional world? No, absolutely not. I want it to burn. But
so let's build the next freeze.
I want more of those people to see what we're doing here, to be exposed to in a positive way. So when they look at digital art, they can say, "Hey, that's something I can actually jump on. That's a trend I can get into."
It's nuance. Nuance. I get it.
I think we got it. But so I agree with you. Yes, burn it all down. But I want to take a few of them over to our side before that happens.
Burn them down, but you save a couple kitties.
Yeah. Do we have a list of who we're saving? Because
Jerry Saltz, that's it.
Jerry can come.
So I think part of the problem here is actually we've commoditized community. Like, I think that so many NFT projects, they make their underlying value like, oh, good vibes, like having a good time, partying. And that, in a sense, takes it away from the art. And so is that something like we as a collective should really take a hard look at?
The problem is
that's the focus.
That's the internet, right?
That's the focus of it. That's what I was getting at. Not to cut you guys off, but literally, that's where you're wrong, Patrick. That is the focus. We have a bunch of 30 to 40-year-old men that can't find friends.
What?
So they buy.
I'm friends
it's
with
hard.
Ed. I'm friends with Ed.
No.
Maybe.
Why are you friends with? Hold on. Stop. He's gonna bing me in like 60 seconds. How are you friends with him? Because of NFTs. Because of Web3.
I love it.
So this is where I'm getting at. All these people are. It's hard to make friends in IRL. So now we found a way through art to make friends through this. So community is everything. And unfortunately, that's what Art Basel has turned into. It's a pie chart. I was talking to you about this outside. There's a pie chart. Bitcoin is now pushing themselves in. Like 2 years ago when we did our ETH stuff, all the regular events were so boring. We had suits showing up to our events, heels, crazy fucking $1,000 outfits to Doodles events and shit. Why? Because their party sucked. And they want to know what we were doing. And everyone's smoking blunts and hoodies. And they're like, this is not Art Basel. We got shit on forever, right? So I started mingling and going to different events. And what happened was what I realized is, yes, it is weird, but all these people are on year 1 and 2 of learning art. You have a bunch of idiots. Honestly, Rebud. I work for Rebud, right? It's a bunch of stoners in Web3. They don't even know what Art Blocks is. Yeah, here we go. You show me anybody though. I start showing them art. They don't get it yet. They're not there yet. They're still literally not able to walk in the art space. They're going to bridge in. They're going to find you. They're going to do all this stuff. But getting the original artists, that people that love physical art into digital, has been so hard. You're going to have to incubate these new people into growing, walking, and being a normal human until they can find actual art. I think it's going to grow. But
that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about like commoditizing community, which you should totally put that on a shirt or something. But
is it good for us?
That has nothing to do with NFTs. I mean, it does, but it didn't start with that. It started with
Facebook.
It started with Facebook.
Yep.
It started with before that Friendster, but even like YouTube, right? The first digital influencers were just YouTubers, and they had subscribers, and those subscribers created communities, and they could like communicate with them, right? And so I think that's not an NFT problem. Would be my response to you. That's just like a world thing.
Wait, so we're good. I'm going to agree with Josh. There you go. We actually do this rarely here, okay? Which is like, if you're a person who wants to get into art, I'm an art nerd, right? How did I get into it? You don't have permission to know about art. You don't go look at a fucking Barnett Newman and go, oh, I like it. I know what's going on. I'm good at art. You don't know. You're like, what the fuck is this shit? It's like very confusing and hard to feel like validated that you have good opinions. You hang out with circles and you slowly like socialize and move up and get confidence and learn more and go to different situations. I remember the first time was my first art opening at the Hirschhorn. I was like, oh my God, I'm with rich people. I'm doing it. Oh my God, we're looking at new art. And they were like, what do you think? And I was like, my first time ever giving opinion on new art, right? That took fucking 3 years of going to the museum a bunch, right, before, and feeling comfortable there. And I think the idea that you're going to be like, join the art world, like go to Art Basel the first time, like, oh, fantastic. I think that's the next piece of art. It's like, what are you fucking talking about? You go there, you drink, you party, you do a little bit of the pink cocaine, and then, I'm sorry, that's for you, Troy. Sorry. And then you do get part of this culture later on. It is hard. I mean, Art Basel wanted you to be like, you're established, then you join. Now there's this weird part where you go there, it's spring break, and then maybe a couple of the spring breakers will eventually jump to the other side and be like, guys, I partied out. I think this is some good art. I'm going to buy it and go home.
Yeah, everyone should be able to have fun and do their own thing. That's not you. Do your thing. That's great. The problem I had with Art Basel is mostly about how the artists are treated, and I don't think the majority of these events did anything for the artists. Right, they use them for wallpaper, they use them for attendance, they use them for everything else, but they didn't use them. They didn't do anything to actually help them. And the way they presented the art at Art Basel, across the board, at these big things, even with the transient maker's place, how they put it up in a hotel lobby, like stuff like that, the art just wasn't displayed well. Operator event was great. I hadn't seen this, but that looks like the only other good thing I've seen. We just need to do better for the artist in the space. And this is Art Basel, right? I mean, like, I know it's kind of conflated, right? We have a lot of NFT degenerates there and kind of the art's on the side. But I just think we need to do a lot better and more focus on the artists. And people just need to just...
I don't think it's just that we need to do better for the artists. We, as the artists, we need to do better at advocating for ourselves. So if we know that our art is being presented in a shitty way, which I do have some stories about that, some of you guys know, email support. Hey, I need you to fix this. And which they didn't, but that's a whole nother story. But it's not even just that. Like, if we want to also have it celebratory, I have to admit, everything Josh is talking about and what you're talking about in terms of how these PFP communities have made these parties fun and people actually want to be there, why are we not advocating for more of our events to be fun and to be engaging and so that people want to be partying? Why are we not advocating more for ourselves?
So I will say, because I know Patrick's going to say, you're like, we don't want people taking shoeies when I'm looking at my art. That's the problem, right? That's the issue, right? Is that there is this weird...
Shoeies?
Shoeies. That's what
drinking,
you put a beer in a shoe
beer out of the
shoe.
shoe.
Oh, we can't get these 7 seconds back. Go ahead.
It's up, yeah. Yeah, so I mean, there is a divide that does want to exist. I'm with that, right? I like the people who want to join a community and like jump to the other bridge here. But there is a whole group of people at Art Basel like, this is Art Basel. I'm here to buy $100,000 to $1 million paintings. I don't need the open bar. Right? I'm being serious, right? They don't care. This is not about making friends. I'm here to do business. I'm here to make money. I'm here to network with real galleries and artists and whatnot. And there's this whole crew who's like, we're getting drunk. We're going to be friends with you. And they're like, fuck off. I'm trying to sell.
It's so strange, though. Like, just seeing everyone go to Art Basel and then just elbows out, like, not including anybody outside of our community at these things in events that nobody.
I feel like
it was very.
That's like.
I don't know why we were there.
It's like that at every conference, though. We aren't open, like, or very accessible to the outside of the space. I also want to say, Art Basel, outside this bubble, there are people that go to concerts and music shows, and that actually exist and has always been existing. It's very dominant in Black culture. A lot of Black people go to Art Basel to look at art as well as to dance, to music. These things happen. So that is something that we're also missing here, because a lot of these events that we're having, there is a huge cultural divide. There's a lot of things that are missing. And because you have that, this is why it's like, oh, this is weird, this is cringe, whatever. But there are people that actually can look at art and also dance on a dance floor easy. And it's really not weird. That's not weird to me. What is weird, though, when I do see like art, it's not displayed in the right way. It's when I'm having artists. I also didn't go to Art Basel this year for the same reason. I was like, okay, I already know the people. I'm cool with everybody. I don't need to do this. It's really not giving any. I really was like, I need to move with intention. And so what I'm noticing is that it's not only Art Basel. It's just Art Basel, I guess, honestly, a lot of people went and they're like, oh, this is weird, but space has been doing this for quite some time. We have to get out of this pattern of like not really putting at the forefront of like what we want to be at the forefront. And if we want art to be the narrative or like be at the forefront, we have to really, put that work in. And we aren't doing that. And there needs to be a good team or a movement where we're like, okay, hey y'all, this is what we want to do. This is what we're going to present, because you're not going to bring any. I've had people go to events and say, hey, I don't want to be a part of this event. Legit. And I'm like, why not? It's just weird.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. Those are people outside. And so like, I'm trying to find ways to also onboard people. But if we don't have a place for people that want to be, and I mean, Pat, to a point, you a little bit too painful with some of your words. You didn't have to be, you didn't have to go in like that. But I hear you. But there is this thing where you're like, man, we really want to get people in, because it's not fair. I understand we don't want this traditional world, sure, but there are people who definitely should be in this world that we're doing that. Like, they should be a part of this. And if they found out, if they knew what was going on, they would definitely be down. But we aren't being accessible whatsoever. And the culture is not there, and we need to figure it out.
I think really quick. I think the best model that I've seen, if there is one, is what Bright Moments has done, flying around the world, getting to a city 4 months before, opening their doors for whether people are their first art experience. It's all digital and stuff like that, and keeping that door open. So like these club-oriented things, it's like, no, own an NFT, it's only you, or if you paid a ticket. But like open the doors for other people. Mix it in.
He doesn't get a shill, does he?
No, he doesn't get a shill.
Wow.
Just bombs, baby.
We did a show for you earlier. Come on. Okay, there you go.
So just to add to what you were speaking about, the problem is that a lot of these projects are catering to their holders, right? So you have to look at it as though not only is it a celebration, but these founders are trying to find a way, especially with the amount of money people have lost, let's just be honest, with holding a lot of these NFTs, holders are like, man, we don't want to include the outside people. We're the priority. We're the reason why you're even successful right now in the space. So I think it's more than just trying to include the outside. It's like, how do they even do that with prioritizing people who are OG holders and so on and so forth? So that's kind of the concept.
Totally. It's one of these funny things. Like, it feels like Art Basel was at one point an art conference for people buying, collecting art. Now we've combined 12 things into it, right? Yeah. It's like doing Bonnaroo with Stagecoach, with a metal festival, and we're like, what the hell? They're not hanging out together. It's like, it's rough. Now, some people are going to go from one to the other, be like, yo, those country artists are lit, dude. I'm a metalhead, but they were getting down. And maybe there's crossover, but we're not really there yet here. However, though, we actually are at the end of our show. So we have to do one last thing before we end here, okay? Because we do have 3 people here who actually went to Art Basel. So you have to say, what, Patrick, you've been dancing around it all night. You're driving me crazy. What do I actually do when I go next year? How do I actually make, like, what do I do? Like, how do I be successful? I want to go there. I want to collect art. I want to make art friends.
You don't ask Patrick.
I think. Yeah, I think.
Yeah, I know. No, he's got to give me something. I need some answer. Before we, I'm not going to tell him to be.
No, the smaller events are really good. Some galleries put on some really good things. Operator did a good thing. Even AOTM did a good thing. I would not go to any art shows in hotel lobbies, despite how hype they may be. But I think next year, we're just completely abandoned by the art players in the space, right? Super Rare did nothing. None of these people did anything for the artists, right? And they're the ones, we're paying the platform fees, right? They should be there on the ground putting on shows to highlight the artists that they have. Foundation, where's the Foundation booth at Basel, right? Like, these people are making a ton of money off artists and doing nothing to advocate for artists outside of the space. And I think we should just kind of notice that, right? So.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you. Patrick, I know you don't got anything to shill.
404 is going to open on the 18th.
Nice.
So, look forward to your submissions.
Beautiful. Yeah, be honest here. Bear Snake, thank you so much for coming on again, dealing with this hot. I mean, you're like one of my favorite people in the space. You get the most love on the timeline, and then deal with the most shit, I feel like, in the background here.
No. I deal with zero shit.
What do we have to look forward to? What's going on in your world? He gets 12 shells, okay? He's the first person ever to mention ordinals. When how many ordinals were there?
I'm counting.
I don't know, like a 1, maybe?
There was like 2,000 ordinals, and he said, you motherfuckers,
no,
ordinals.
Are you kidding me? It was less than that.
Yes!
Early ass alpha. Oh.
Do you not know that? He stood in the back and he said, listen to me, you motherfuckers.
But it's not me. I
They're
can't
called
take credit.
ordinals.
It's Dota.
Okay,
My
infinite
partner
shows
Dota.
for that. Okay, what look forward to? What do we do?
We have our comic book series, which is coming out from a fantastic artist named Riley Brown. He's been drawing DC and Marvel, Batman, Spider-Man, Deadpool for 15, 20 years. So that's coming out the 26th, and you can also pre-order 2 and 3. There's 10 altogether. The first one's sold out, actually, so you can't buy that one. Let's go. Yeah, I got so many free comics. You just come to my office. Anyway, thank you for having me.
Can I get a shill?
Yeah, you're on the show.
Why are you the only project in the entire space that actually does
He's the only one that ships. He's the only one that ships. Okay, stop. I'm on. Okay.
I don't know. I can't answer that question.
That's why you're on the panel every week. Cass, oh my God, killing it. What do we look forward to? What's going on?
I guess shout out to Beat Basel. That was a really cool event. It kind of blew my expectations. I just curated the panels and got the speakers, but they had live.
I just made sure the events were good. I just made sure the events were good.
Simple behind the scenes things. But like they had breakdancers that had a live battle. So I had just completely random people showed up and there was so many like women battling too. Oof. Like it was super, super cool. Like performances. It was at the same place that Doodles did last year, I believe, Fun Dimension.
Oh, where the puppet was?
Yeah, so they had the inside and the outside. It was a good time. So like answering your question too, and your thought about like why aren't artists doing things for themselves? Because we have to bootstrap it and we don't have money. But that was a great small event that bootstrapped and brought in whatever sponsorship they could and put in their own money and gathered the talent, and it was like really, really fun. So yeah, just appreciation to that crew, Exposed Media, Profits, Scott Fu, and Will to just kind of put together a great small that will be bigger and better next year.
Beautiful. Yeah. Love to hear that. They're grinding.
They're grinding.
They never not on a space. Beautiful to hear. Butoshi, I got to be honest here. You're the only person right now who makes me feel tired. You got more energy than me. It makes me feel nervous, okay?
So
the Zoomers are coming for us here.
Jerry,
what are you working on?
So I am dropping our upcoming collection. We're featuring a lot of cool ordinals tech. I won't go too deep into it. Can you actually show the video? I'm like proud of this video.
Yeah.
Can you go to the project? No. Go up. Click on the project. Bitcoin Boost.
This is your time, Rosenbaum. It's time to shine.
Go to highlights.
Yo, that looks dope. Is that what is
that's
that?
The first. Yeah. And then click on that video.
Yeah, here we go.
So I'm working on
let's
the
go.
upcoming Boots Island collection, and what I'm like deeply working on in the space is basically a sentient digital world that is self-evolving that you as holders or even as community could go and interact with. And all of these little boos are brought to life with the power of AI and giving them souls. And I hope that I don't end the world and take a lot of jobs with AI work, but that's kind of where it's heading. But for now, it's all fun and it's all cutesy, and all of these characters are alive, and you could build meaningful interactions with them if you interact with them.
And
So
Skynet
that's
is
what I'm
born.
doing.
Butoshi is the Frank D. Gods of ordinals. He's 21.
Let's go!
and he's a genius. Okay.
Frank is the Butoshi of Solana, ETH, and 12 other chains. I don't really know. Thank you, everyone, for coming. If you are here in person, after party starting soon. We're going to walk over on Abercrombie, get some drinks, get some food, keep hanging out, debate about more things. Patrick might join us and be even spicier. I'm not sure. He usually is here. Chat. We're going to do a little after show. I'll probably see you tomorrow, do a little stream. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you next week. Bye.